All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something I think we all deal with on a daily basis,
Oh, yeah.
autocorrect.
Hmm.
Um, and, everyone's had those moments where it's gone hilariously wrong.
Absolutely.
I've heard, turning congratulations into congratulation monkey.
Oh, yeah.
So before we, completely give up on autocorrects,
Yeah.
we wanted to take a deep dive into how we can make it work for us.
Yeah. I think people get really frustrated with autocorrect, but it is designed to be helpful.
Right.
And a lot of times it is. It's
Yeah.
just those moments where it really messes up
Yeah.
that make people want to just turn the whole thing off.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when it comes to like names or very specific terms that it just can't seem to grasp.
Right.
So let's start with how to actually control it on different devices.
Okay.
So for our listeners using iPhones or iPads,
Yeah.
where do we even begin?
So you're going to want to head into your settings.
Okay,
Go to General and then head down to Keyboard.
got it.
And there it is, autocorrection.
Oh,
You'll see a toggle switch green means it's on, and you can just tap that and it'll turn gray.
so simple.
Yeah.
Now, I have noticed that sometimes it's not even necessarily the autocorrect itself, it's the automatic capitalization that drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Any tips on that front?
Yeah, so actually right below that autocorrect toggle, there's a separate option for auto capitalization. You can turn that off independently.
Oh, perfect.
So you can have even more control
Got it.
over how your text appears.
And of course, if you decide you miss autocorrect,
Mm-hmm.
you can always go back and turn it on.
Yep, absolutely.
Easy peasy.
Find that balance.
Yeah, find the balance that works for you. So
Exactly.
that's iPhone users all set.
Yep.
But what about Android users?
Yeah.
Are we entering a whole new digital jungle?
It can feel that way sometimes.
Right.
But you want to start the same way
Okay.
in your device's settings. And then you're going to look for languages and input.
Okay.
Sometimes you might have to go through general management or system to find it.
Oh yeah, the classic Android labyrinth.
Exactly.
You never know where it's going to be.
Right. But once you find languages and input, you're going to go to Android keyboard and then text correction.
Got it.
And then right there is that toggle switch again for autocorrection.
Familiar territory.
It is.
So that's for the standard Android keyboard.
Yeah.
But what about for those who prefer Gboard?
Yeah. So Gboard is often already on your phone
Right.
as the default keyboard.
Okay.
You can usually find that in the virtual keyboard section of your settings.
Okay.
And then if you see Gboard there,
Mhm.
tap on that and go to text correction.
Okay.
And then you want to scroll down to corrections, and there you'll find auto correction.
Okay.
Again with that toggle switch.
So simple.
Super simple.
So whether you're Team Standard Android keyboard or Team Gboard,
Mm-hmm.
the path to disabling autocorrect is pretty straightforward.
It is.
Now, we can't forget about our friends using Samsung phones.
Right.
They often have their own way of doing things, don't they?
They do.
So I understand that Samsung actually refers to autocorrect as predictive text.
Yeah, they do.
Is there a particular reason for that, or is this just Samsung being Samsung?
They like to tweak things a bit.
Yeah.
But it really is the same functionality,
Okay.
just a different name.
So for our Samsung listeners, can you walk us through how to wrangle this predictive text setting?
Absolutely. So head into settings,
Mm-hmm.
go to general management,
Okay.
and then tap on Samsung keyboard settings.
Got it.
And right there is predictive text.
Okay.
You can toggle that off,
Right.
and it'll change from blue to gray.
Nice and easy.
Easy peasy.
So just to recap, Samsung users look for predictive text instead of autocorrection.
Yeah.
And remember, you can always toggle it back on if you need a little digital help.
You got it.
Now, before we move on, I have to ask, are there any other tricks we should know about? Like maybe a secret handshake to make autocorrect work even better?
Well, not a secret handshake, but there is a tip that a lot of people don't know about.
Okay.
It involves languages,
Oh, okay.
and it can really improve your autocorrect experience.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that autocorrect seems to struggle more
Uh-huh.
when you're typing in a language that's not your phone's default?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Got it.
I was trying to text a French phrase the other day,
You okay?
je suis,
Yeah.
and it kept trying to change it to jet suit,
Oh, wow.
which was hilarious,
Yeah.
but not what I meant.
Yeah, that's a great example.
So is there something we could do about that?
There is.
Okay.
So this happens because autocorrect is trained primarily on your phone's default language.
Okay.
But if you add keyboards for different languages,
Yeah.
it can make a huge difference.
So we should embrace the power of multilingualism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you add a keyboard for a specific language,
Huh?
The autocorrect function will adjust
Okay.
to the language you're using. Plus, you'll get all the special characters
Right.
for that language, like accents and louts.
Makes sense.
Super helpful.
So how do we switch between these keyboards?
Super easy. On most phones, you'll see a little globe symbol
Oh, yeah.
in the lower left corner of your keyboard.
Okay.
You just tap on that,
Uh-huh.
and you can switch between all your language keyboards.
So simple.
It's so easy.
That's amazing.
I know, right?
I'm already imagining a world where my multilingual texts are free from autocorrect chaos.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling much more empowered to take control of my autocorrect experience. But hold on, folks. We've got even more ground to cover. Stay tuned, because we're about to delve into the deeper implications of autocorrect and what it tells us about our relationship with technology.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about how a simple language trick can really make a difference with autocorrect.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how just adding those extra keyboards can really improve the accuracy.
Right. It's like you're giving autocorrect a crash course in multilingualism.
Exactly. And it really highlights how we can customize our digital tools, to fit our own needs.
Absolutely. It's not just about language settings either.
Right.
This idea of customization goes way beyond that.
So true. So taming autocorrect, it's really just one small example of a much bigger conversation.
It is. It's about how we interact with technology as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We're becoming so reliant on these devices
Yeah.
that it's crucial to remember we have the power to shape how they work for us.
Yeah, I love that we don't have to just accept whatever our devices dictate.
Exactly.
We can take control,
Yes.
adjust those settings,
Mm.
and make sure technology is serving us.
It's about taking back that control.
Yeah, and I think so often we get frustrated with technology,
Yes.
but we don't often stop and ask ourselves, can I adjust this to work better for me?
That's so true.
It's like we've gotten used to adapting to technology instead of the other way around.
Exactly. And that's what leads to that feeling of being overwhelmed
Mm.
or even controlled by our devices.
Yeah, for sure. Taking the time to personalize settings,
Yeah,
to really understand how things work. That's how we reclaim that sense of agency.
absolutely.
It's about making sure technology empowers us, not the other way around.
I love that.
So when we talk about mastering autocorrect, we've covered the practical steps,
Right.
disabling it, tweaking settings, the power of multilingual keyboards.
Yep.
But there's also this deeper layer here.
Yeah, there is.
It's almost like autocorrect with all its quirks
Yeah.
and mishaps
Mm-hmm.
is a metaphor for how technology is always trying to anticipate our needs.
That's such an interesting way to put it. And I
Right.
think you're right.
Like it's trying to predict what we want to say.
Yeah.
Streamline communication.
Make things easy.
Make things easier. And in a lot of ways, that's what a lot of technology tries to do.
It is.
Like suggesting a song we might enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Or, figuring out the quickest route to our destination.
Right. It's like our devices are always trying to anticipate our next move.
Yeah, like they're trying to finish our thoughts before we've even fully formed them.
Exactly. And that can be great sometimes.
Oh, for sure. It's super convenient.
But it also raises some questions.
Yeah, like at what point does this anticipation become overreach?
Right.
When do those helpful nudges start to feel like they're limiting our choices?
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
Because sometimes those predictions are spot on
Mhm.
and they save us time and effort.
Exactly.
But other times
Yeah.
they miss the mark completely.
Right. And it could be frustrating
It can.
or even lead to unintended consequences.
Yeah. So how do we navigate that?
Right. How do we find that balance between, the convenience of technology
Mm-hmm.
and maintaining our own sense of autonomy?
I think it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Being mindful of how technology is shaping our lives,
Mm-hmm.
being critical of the information it gives us,
Right.
and recognizing that it's not always a neutral force.
So it's like how we learn to tame the autocorrect beast.
Yeah.
By understanding its limitations.
Yeah.
We need to develop that same awareness for technology in general.
Yes.
So we can understand how it influences our thoughts, our behaviors, even our perceptions.
It's about being active participants,
Mm.
not just passive consumers.
Right. We need to be engaged in shaping our digital experiences.
Absolutely.
And remembering that technology is a tool.
It is.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
That's right.
The choice ultimately lies with the users.
Exactly. And sometimes that means pushing back a little, against this idea that technology always knows best,
Yeah.
questioning those assumptions,
Right.
exploring different perspectives, and
Yeah.
being okay with a little friction, a little challenge
I love that.
in our digital lives.
This is so insightful. We've gone from like the very practical steps of how to disable autocorrect
Yeah.
to this much broader discussion about our relationship with technology as a whole.
It's all connected.
It's amazing how something so seemingly simple can lead to such profound questions.
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mhm.
what's one key takeaway you hope our listeners will walk away with?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. It's up to us, the users, to decide how we want to use it.
I think that's such a powerful message.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in this feeling that technology controls us,
Mm-hmm.
but we really do have more control than we realize.
We do.
We can shape our digital experiences, make sure technology serves us, not the other way around.
Right, and sometimes it starts with these small acts of rebellion, like taming autocorrect.
Exactly. It's about
Yeah.
taking those small steps and then realizing, hey, we can apply this to other areas of our digital lives as well.
Absolutely. And by doing that, we can become more mindful, more intentional, more empowered in our relationship with technology.
This has been such a fascinating conversation.
It has.
We've gone from the very practical how-tos of disabling autocorrect to this much broader conversation about our relationship with technology.
And it's all connected.
It really is. It's amazing how something so seemingly simple can spark such profound questions.
It is.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into autocorrect.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've learned some valuable tips and maybe even gained a new perspective on your own relationship with technology.
It's been a pleasure.
Remember, you have the power to shape your digital world. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep taking control.